So before we start, I just wanted to very brief recap of my professional journey. I started my career just after my UG in Samir Center for Electromagnetics in Taramani in 1988, and I was there for 17 years. And then, because of my interest in teaching, I was always interested in teaching. Maybe because my father had been a middle school teacher, I don't know. So then I moved to University of Nottingham, Malaysia, in early 2004, and I was there for 7.5 years. Of course, India is always, of course, close to my heart. I never wanted to settle anywhere outside of India. So, mid 2012, we relocated. And then since then, I have been with the SSN College of Engineering. So, as you can see, all the three campuses are beautiful campuses. And then I just go back in memory to the days I went for a walk around this lake. You see this University of Nottingham. Of course, all campuses have their own beauty. So we will just get started. We will ask you a first question. Why do we organize this talk? Why is this talk organized? Reflecting on this, is it to satisfy some official requirement of the organizers or the speaker? Okay, or is it to score points? Or is it for the participants to get a certificate that they can show in their CV, and then maybe a slight boost could be for the CV? Or is it for all of us to kill time in an officially acceptable way? Because nobody can question, okay, I'm giving a talk in an IEEE student chapter branch, that's just taken as such, that's all right. Or any of these are our purposes? Obviously, our primary response to these would be a no, I guess. Of course, that would be a no. But then why? Why do we organize this talk? Why did Ram invite? Why did I agree to give this talk? And of course, on more broader level, why do we teach? Of course, this applies to teachers. I'm not sure whether there are faculty colleagues, some might be joining later. So why do we teach? Right? Is it just for salary? In that case, can there be beauty in whatever we do, or are there other drivers that help us just keep going ahead of our profession with reasonable enthusiasm? Of course, we will not dwell onto that specific topic, but those of you interested, you can either watch this YouTube video at this link, or an article in IEEE Antennas and Propagation magazine, December 2023 issue, in two parts that appeared on Why We Teach, where academics, colleagues from around the world have shared their reflections on why they teach. So these reflections take us to the topic of meaningful engagements. The personal development, if I have to use one short phrase to say what that means, I would probably say meaningful engagement. So it is very important to reflect on our activities. Why do we do what we do? Why do we teach, or why do we research? What is the purpose of our actions? That's very important, because that reflection can lead us to setting purposes for our activities. Right. So like when Ghulam invited, then I started reflecting, okay, what would be my purposes for this talk? Then, of course, this topic has been close to my heart for decades. Okay, as a teacher, as a parent, how I want our young people, especially, to develop as beautiful citizens. So I have some intended purposes for this talk, which are to leave you with the concrete ideas, not some abstract notions of what personal development is. Hopefully, you should take away with you some ideas that you can just start implementing soon after the talk. Hopefully, okay, that's the hope. Okay. And to provide some practical tips, of course, it is related that you can just start implementing. Also, in this process of personal development, how IEEE membership may be of help in the process. Okay, so these are my intended purposes, and I have been making efforts. I will hopefully be able to meet some of these purposes at a satisfactory level. So now most of you are undergraduate students or perhaps postgraduate students, and some could be PhD students also. So let us start by reflecting on what should you be at the end of, say, 4 years or 2 years if you're in a PG program, or some 4 or 5 years if you're in a PhD program. What should you be? Enough just a certificate with an impressive CGPA 9 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10. Okay. So that can be, of course, a ticket to being called for an interview or shortlisted for a test. Of course, to that extent, that is okay. But then there are many more attributes that will be important when you are, facing a career and life at that particular point of time. What are them? What are they? So desirable qualities which have to be our goals, right? If you have to think of how to pursue, then they become our goals. For UG and PG students, I would think some of the desirable qualities are knowledge. Of course, we will all agree. But what is knowledge? Especially, I think teaching friends should ask, what is knowledge? Is it the ability to reproduce terms and definitions? Or is it even to just be able to mechanically solve problems? Or is it something more? Or is it, does it have more to do with developing conceptual clarity of whatever we study, the ability to link the different aspects of our study? And then if you just look at Merriam-Webster dictionary's definition of knowledge, facts or ideas acquired by study, investigation, observation, or experience. So knowledge is defined like this. And I would say one should aim for both broad as well as deep knowledge. By that, what it means is one skill or whatever, one attribute that all of us should have is what I call a broad picture understanding of thing. Like if you are in mechanical engineering or civil or electronics and communication, are you able to put how the different courses fit in, including the humanities and arts courses that we management. So where does within the scheme of mechanical engineering or your specialty, how do these things fit in? For example, or within electronics, within the specialized branch, how the different courses really fit into that framework. So this is broad picture understanding always helps us in all walks of life, I believe. And then effective communication. This is, of course, very important. But then what do we mean by effective communication? Is it just the ability to make a presentation to an audience or to be able to write? Because very often writing and speaking skills. But I think there is a far more profound meaning of this. Like, for example, in this case, when Gulam invited me and then I agreed, is it that I just put together some slides and then just came prepared for this presentation now? Definitely not, right? There has been a lot of internal communication that has occurred within me. Right? So who will be the audience? Okay, who will be the audience? So what should I try to tell so that it has an impact? Right. So that requires, obviously, as you can see, that requires an intense communication within me, in this case, obviously within you, because all of us will be facing similar situations. So then just preparing slides, changing, again, reorganizing and putting the last slide, bringing the last slide to the first, and so on and so forth. A lot of it has been a process of internal communication within me that has brought us to this point. Now, of course, this communication also. So without the internal communication with an individual being reasonably clear, obviously we cannot hope for clarity in the manifestation of that internal communication, which is what we do now. For example, now I'm just giving a presentation. Okay. So this is important. And again, we use words, right? That's how I think, or most of us think like that. So we use words. So the clarity of my thinking process is very important. So that also requires effective or language skills and critical thinking skills, because they help us in just steering our thoughts in a channelized fashion that we can hopefully come up with good presentations or good work or whatever it is. Now, this also matters when you read a book or when you listen to a talk or when you listen to a lecture without appropriate or without adequate language skills. It is obviously not possible to cherish a novel. Let it be a novel. How can you cherish a beautiful novel, let's say Tolstoy's novel or anything for that matter? So, right. So language skills, my friends, are very, very important, not just to make a presentation, to make it effective and then to undertake a clear, headed thinking process within our minds to the extent possible. To the extent possible. So this is important. And then confidence. This is very, very important. And then I want to quote Swami Vivekananda, who is reported to have said that you cannot believe in God until you believe in yourself. So that, I mean, that is the importance he has given to confidence. And this is very important. And then for young people, I mean, one tip that I want to give, one important fact of life is nobody is perfect, right? So the lack of confidence very often comes from thinking that I'm not good in this, I'm not good in that, but he or she is much better. This kind of comparison and this kind of self-evaluation, critical self-evaluation, maybe that is one of the reasons. But then it is impossible for anyone to know everything about anything in life. Okay, that holds for everyone universally. But of course, we all are making efforts to improve ourselves, or we ought to be making efforts to improve ourselves constantly. That is life. Right. So never, I mean, if this is your, this is the reason you feel low in confidence, please understand that everybody, you, me, anyone else also has limitations. So please try to develop confidence in you and ability to ideate. See, life is ideas. So like Gulam wanting to arrange a talk, or I, of course, agreeing to give a talk, these are all ideas. This presentation is a manifestation of an idea, right? Or IEEE is an idea, or CEG, SSN, these are all expressions of ideas that people have had and people continue to have. So this ability to come up with ideas is very important. And two most important aspects are the integrity and positive outlook. I will spend little time on these two topics because other things, of course, they are important. All are important, but if I say that would mean that these are particularly important. Okay, let me just focus on them in certain way. But after covering so integrity and positive love, we will just outlook. We will just come back to these 2 points after discussing what are the desirable qualities for PhD students. I'm not sure how many are there, but let us just see. Of course, the previous ones, because you have anyway done UG and probably PG also. So all the above qualities at a higher level, maybe because over 4 or 5 years of intensely getting involved in research and then conferences, journal submissions and all, the expectation would be that you manifest them, you display them at a higher level. And scholarship, like the ability to give a beautiful presentation, some 30-minute presentation, a nice scholarly presentation on the state of art in your domain of research. And critical thinking. So critical thinking, a deeper conceptual thinking ability. So that is very important. And the ability to frame and pursue research questions. And high level of writing, higher level, let me put it like that, because UGPG students also should have that, and higher level of writing and presenting skills. So these are, I believe, some of the goals that PhD students should set for themselves, and supervisors should set also. Not just, 2 papers and then, okay, they are important official requirements, but then it is important to go over and beyond the requirements so that we can work towards personal development, which is what the topic of this webinar is about. So now, as I said, we will discuss in some way. I was just wondering how to present this topic, integrity. So I thought, okay, this might be an interesting way. Maybe, I'm not sure. Now, after this talk, of course, I will be submitting a report or that to my institution that I gave a webinar or something. And Gulam will also be submitting to IEEE and to his college. Now, how can I do this? Okay, let me talk about as a speaker. Can I write that I gave an inspirational webinar to young students on this topic on this morning? Okay, now when my, say, department head looks at it, oh, Selvan, I'm so delighted. But can you just provide evidence as to how you say it was inspirational, right? So, so obviously that would not be, then obviously I will cut a sorry figure. Now, instead, I don't know how many, see, Gulam told me that 150 people registered. I don't know how many are there now. That doesn't matter. So can I write or can I say that I gave a webinar in which some 150 participants had registered because many of them would not have joined, or even if they were logged in, but they might be doing other things, right? Even if it is apparently factual, let us say 100 people have logged in, but still I cannot say that I spoke to 100 or whatever number of people, right? Right. I understand, right? So, but then another is, can I say I gave an exclusive and exciting webinar on the topic of this? And I have the evidence which is from the that announcement that was circulated, right? Okay, the organizers have been kind enough to include these words, but is that an evidence? Can I, can I really feel happy about giving that brochure as evidence? Right. So the factual statement I can make is that I delivered a webinar on this topic at an event organized by this IEEE APS student branch of CG. That is the statement. Now, of course, if I have to talk about the impact, unless I have some evidence, like let us say the organizers collect feedback and then share, again, how I would word my report, even then, let us say a number 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 or 5, whatever it is. So I cannot still say it had an impact, even 8 out of 10, because it's just a numbers. Numbers to me don't say much. On the other hand, there are some, let us say, there are emails or some written feedback, qualitative feedback that says, yeah, I mean, it was quite good. Then probably I can say that it appears that the webinar was had some impact like that. Right. So, my friends, how I speak, how I write, how I think, the consistency and the how they all gel with each other is an important attribute that is that I appeal to you to reflect upon as you grow in your profession and life. Like the dependability aspect, or do people find me as someone who is trustworthy? Do I mean what I say? Do I have evidence? Do I simply make statements, or my statements can be given the weight that when they come from me? So this development of integrity, you know, that when you are trusted, that has within it a beauty, right? Don't we all like to be trusted? Right? So obviously we have to put efforts there. We have to really reflect on how I can become more and more trustworthy in my life, in what I say, thinking, the consistency, integrity, like signal integrity, I say the same thing, right? So we want to retain the original shape of the transmitted signal to the extent possible. So the consistency between thoughts, actions, and words, the more one is consistent, the more that person can be, expected to be of a person of integrity. Now, coming to your CV, like at the end of your UG, PG, PhD, or faculty for promotions or anything will be including a lot of, I attended this. For example, you say in your CV that I attended a seminar on personal development. You have a certificate as evidence, but that is not enough, right? The interviewer would or might ask, okay, wow, Monish, you attended this seminar. So can you tell me what were the key takeaways? Or you say, I did an internship, I did a project, I have a paper, even in that case. But it's not that they will immediately give you marks. They will ask you, okay, can you just tell me for about 2 minutes what exactly was your contribution? What was the paper about? Right? So it is not just certificates. It is what the certificates are expected to represent. So that is related to personal development. Right? I hope I'm making sense. Now, the positive approach, I said, integrity and positive approach are especially important qualities, I believe. So integrity, I hope, I'm not sure how, hopefully later I would like to get some feedback on this. Positive approach. What is positive approach? Why is that important? See, every individual or every system in life, anywhere in the world, okay, has limitations or areas for improvement. So please understand that there is nothing like perfection in life. We all, what can we do is to strive towards that perfection, which we will never, I think, attain. Correct? We should not attain, then that will be boring. So there is no perfect individual, there is no perfect system. But then every individual and system also have bright spots, positive aspects. Definitely, whatever you say, think about it. If you think about it, yeah, that is good, this is good. Something you will also be able to see the bright spots of life. So it is very important, my young friends, not to be a chronic complainer. Who is a chronic complainer who always, has something or the other to complain about? This is not good, that is not good, like that. So please, if you're like that, obviously you are going to be gloomy, and then your friends or friend circle will also be, you will, transfer a bit of that gloominess to others also. So how can you make a positive difference? How can we make yourself and your ambience, your family, your community career, your organization brighter is by looking at the positive aspects of life also. Definitely that helps, in two ways at least. Being positive helps us give our best. If I'm gloomy, of course, obviously that always troubles me. Why God, why did they do like this? Why, or whatever, like complaining about something or the other. So there are two important. One is being positive helps us give the best. Not just that, it also can help us do something about the limitations. Right? So if I'm a person who only talks about limitations, then how can I do anything about the limitations? On the other hand, if I am positive, looking at the bright side of life and or organization or myself or my friends or my community, then that allows me to give my best in whatever I do. Not just that, I can also contribute to improving areas that need improvement. Right? So by all means, it helps to be positive. So please try to be positive. Now, coming back to the goals, like desired attributes. So, what should you be at the end of your 4-year or whatever program you are in? So we have goals. What are the goals? The goals are the desired attributes. So you should work in first year, second year, whatever level you are in. So you should start working towards them. And goal setting is, of course, that is what we tried to do in a couple of slides earlier. And then strategy. So many of us as young people, as old people, we all have goals. I should do that. I should do this. We may also have a plan. Okay, I will study well. I will get that job like that. But strategy is very important. So what I mean is, like, for example, I want to allocate 1 hour for this presentation preparation or for electromagnetics or something. How effectively I make use of the time? If I have my mobile by the side of me and then it just, what is it? It gives a sound whenever you get a message and it distracts you. Or if you depend on resources which are not of quality, high quality resources, that's also. So strategy comprises, like if you want to be healthy, we need to eat quality, nutritious food, right? Vegetables, fruits, like that. So if you want to improve our knowledge properly, then we should depend on good resources, authoritative textbooks, authoritative lectures. So that is very important. So that strategy, not wasting time, not being distracted, that is very important. Be committed to that pursuit. Avoiding distractions. So this mobile phone and then social media or terrific distractions. So you should know where to keep them. That as young people in the process of developing, I think this is one of the very key aspects of life. So please see that you have these ideas in your mind. And then self-reflection is very important. This is a very, very important, I would say. For example, you can just look at if you are in the second year, let us say, or third year, or whichever program, PhD, first year, or whatever. So can you take stock of how the past year or two have been? Just reflect by yourself, sit alone, and then, okay, what were the positives, where you could have done better. Or like once you set a goal, I always tell of course, I am telling you, one practical way is you can set weekly targets. Targets means goals, okay? I will study this unit or this topic in this subject, like that. You set of goals for a week, and then at the end of the week, you review. So, okay, this was my goal. Have I done that? Oh, okay, partially I have done. Okay, that is fine. But if you're not at all done, that's also fine. For 1 or 2 weeks, that's fine. But if that continues to be, you can take all this in your diary, in your journal. You can just take a note. And if that seems to be a continuous, habit, then obviously you have to intervene. So the self-reflection, taking stock is very important. That can be very, very helpful. Okay, this is all, most of the things, everything I'm saying based on my personal experience, how I try to lead my life. I try, okay? All right. So now, okay, you are all in the last year of your PhD or UG or PG program. So many of you will be looking for jobs or higher education. You will be looking for reference. So how do you get a strong reference? Again, it's very important to understand that it requires far more than doing well in exams. Let us say you have a CGP of 9.5 out of 10. But the referee doesn't have to write that this student is excellent, she or he has 9 out of 10. That is already there in your transcripts, right? So a reference letter does not have to say about your academic performance, but it can potentially talk about many other attributes that the referee has personally observed in you. So a strong reference is one that contains your strengths as personally observed by the referee. So which means as a student, please try to be active student in the class. What does it mean to be an active student in the class? Answer and ask questions. I am sure most of the teachers or all the teachers ask questions in class. Answer and ask questions, ask doubts, good doubts, right? Very, I mean, I especially remember, okay, some, excellent questions from students, and make use of presentation and volunteering opportunities. Sometimes or often teachers will ask, okay, who volunteers to take up this responsibility? Right. So make use of presentation and get involved in faculty directed research and projects. Okay. So this is not some ways. So of course, very often, it is important that at the end of final year, you should have accumulated certain things that the teacher remembers and is able to put in your references. Therefore, it pays to, then you also enjoy classes. Okay. Now, one of the points that I often reflect, okay, many of us probably find classrooms boring, but why? So how can students contribute to a more lively class? It is only by interaction, right? When you ask good questions, of course, some of my students' questions have forced me means, of course, I enjoy the process to do homework before going back to the class. So that really makes that class lively, and the teacher also, becomes more lively when good questions are asked. So being an active student in the class helps. And okay, now let us assume you are about to embark upon your career, and then you want to build a quality network, not just network. So we talk of friends and then good friends, like close friends. The network, professional network, by that I really do not mean a business kind of, because that is what maybe that might be the connotation, but it is a professional friendship where you share warmth also, and you share your personal challenges or anything. So how do you build a quality network? So that is important. Why it is important is just the way friendship is important. We all cherish friendship, right? I told about my organization. So of course I have excellent friends from even now in Samir and also University of Nottingham, and also IEEE APS. That I will of course talk about this towards the end. So important. It's very important aspect of life. What it is not, this is very important. What is a quality network not is like, if you, let us say, you have selfies with people you admire. That is not your network, right? Whatever your people you admire in whatever walk of life, social networks or your contacts and social networks are not exactly your contacts, right? So selfies or social networks are not your contacts. But again, the process of building a good professional network requires again ideation, the ability to come up with ideas, communication, how effectively see what do we write? We write about what we think, right? We share our ideas, right? And trust and integrity, these are all very important qualities. Dependability, when a student or anyone writes, the recipient should have, it is a long-term process. So you have to be known as a dependable person through your interactions, like integrity that we have discussed. So all that, and then like if you write to someone that I want to collaborate with you, and then you don't have anything else to say, then so that means it is not going to be favorable. So you should be able to come up with your ideas, right? So ideation is very important. And as we have said, dependability and perseverance also. Perseverance is the ability to sustain with an activity. And some of my collaborations involving multi-nations, national, multi-institutional collaboration. Now for more than 2 years, we have been good work, everything is done, but then because different people have different circumstances, so there would be delays when multiple organizations are involved, because of, so 2 years we have still not gone to the kind of closure. Another work that we have also been undertaking, that also I mean more or less for 1.5 years, like, so all this you can't be in a hurry, you can't be the man in a hurry in it. So perseverance, and then that is also very important. And then the talk of network takes us to the topic of professional societies. Of course, now IEEE is the professional society we are talking about now. It's an international professional organization, right? No, but any institution is its members. what is CEG or what is any of the institutions? What is, I mean, any institution is its members, right? So the point is that members, it is the members, that is you and me, that sustain and enrich the institution. This is a very important point. So, which means I have to make a contribution in order that the institution gets nourished. And in the process of nourishing me, it's a give and take. Like any relationship with your friendship, there is a give and take, right? So, when we talk of IEEE or any professional society, we are talking of what I can do as an active member, and then what benefits I can get from the society. So member development. So I will be distinguishing two aspects. That member development, by that I refer to the self-development of individual, each member. And then membership development is where we talk of numbers and then those things which are also important. So member development, the organization supports through conferences, workshops, journals, and volunteering opportunities. I hope I will remember to say something about this towards the end. Volunteering opportunities, all this, these are many opportunities, and then effective sustenance needs membership development. So, which means bringing in more members into the body. But then they should find that the membership is of value. That is done through organizing high quality workshops, conferences, and other things. So this is very important. And talking of IEEE APS, of course, that is my field of interest, and I know Ghulam's field of interest as well, and many other, I'm not sure, other colleagues here. So field of interest, antennas, bioelectromagnetics, and things like that. And there are immediate and long-term benefits. So immediate benefits are that, for example, this we have been able to organize because IEEE, that is CEG student branch chapter, it has a student branch chapter, right? So this is how. So this possibly, but then the long-term benefits, of course, need a more active participation by members. And then what is effective membership? Like being an active student or active membership. What is active membership? So quality volunteering. So when you volunteer to do a job, do you try to bring in beauty to that, or you just get involved so that it can be of in your CV or something? So bring in quality in everything that you do. You organize. Let it be a high quality event. So what is a high quality event? So the speakers and then scheduling of the event and timely start, but the whole gamut of things. Quality volunteering, good publications. Actually, as you progress, young people, as you just progress through your career, there have to be good publications that are identifiable with you. And then attendance at the events. When you are seen by other people, that is the way you build a rapport and all that, and dependability. So please, I hope you have noted this dependability, integrity, trustworthiness, and all. They have been repeatedly highlighting throughout the presentation because they are very, very important. So effective membership, my young friends, is very important in order that the best use of the professional society can be made. And then my personal association with IEEE APS has been extraordinary. I think, though I have been a member for many years, it is from 2006 onwards that I have been having for about 18 years now. I joined the education committee. I volunteered to be on the education committee because I had just become a faculty at that time when Professor Cynthia First was the chairperson. And then, of course, I gave inputs, and then that is how. And before that, of course, I had publications. So having publications is one thing. And then I just tried to give my inputs whenever it was necessary. And then I volunteered on the committee. And I should say I have excellent network around the world. Not excellent network, I should say I have, but that has been definitely made possible by IEEE Antennas and Propagation Society. But please remember, what is required is effective or active membership in order that you can also at the end of 10 years, 20 years, are able to speak about how, what kind of warm relation you have with several colleagues around the world who could be members of IEEE APS. So my personal association has been and continues to be enriching. And this is one, there are many committees, as if you have seen. There is one young professionals committee, multiple committees are there. One committee I just want to mention a little bit about is that diversity, equity, inclusion, and sense of belonging committee. It's a very beautifully named committee. Why I have just included this is, in my opinion, this represents the culture of the society, or in fact about the IEEE as an organization. So diversity, of course, please look up at the dictionary for a meaning of this. And equity is, there is a difference between equity and equality. Please find out what the difference is. Inclusion, so everybody feels included as part of the structure. So there is no strict hierarchical structure. This is not a hierarchical organization. Everybody is a member. Everybody is a valued member of the society. And diversity is where you bring in diverse set of ideas, diverse people. That is the beauty of life also. If you just reflect on music, for example, how different for us. It's not flat, right? So the diversity brings beauty to life, and the society, of course, supports this, and also sense of belonging. Everybody should feel part of the society or any organization, right? How an organization can be beautiful when people feel part of the organization. So sense of belonging is also very important. So that is why, I mean, I'm not sure about the current state. IEEE, the chapter officers need to be rotated every, I'm not sure, 3 years or whatever it is. So the idea is that we are able to, bring in more people with newer ideas, with the fresher thoughts. We never know what nice, beautiful ideas other person has, right? So this kind of, a democratic functioning is anticipated. I think that is a manifestation of this. So this is one committee. I would like to thank Claire, who is chairing this committee. So she shared some slides of that committee. I have just taken a couple of slides. Thank you, Claire. Now this chapter, now you have, let us say you have started being active again, student branch chapter, but the chapter formation is one thing that is not, that involves certain efforts, but very often the founding of any institution is not the end. It is the beginning, right? So as Ghulam said, I founded the Madras chapter of IEEE APS in 2013, mid-2013, I think. And then you can just look at the an article of mine in the February 2021 issue of the IEEE Antaras and Propagation magazine, where the lessons learned from the Madras chapter in promoting electromagnetic education. So I'm sure, I hope that the article has some, points which can be of help to you. And the CG student chapter, you can set your own or better. Similar, you can get some ideas. Obviously, you can, improve with the fresher ideas. And also as I said, given that we have young people, IEEE APS Young Professionals program, that's also very, very good. So you can just look up at the offerings of that program. And they have a LinkedIn page also. You can look up at the details. And sustaining activity is very important. So it is not just founding, okay? And then sustaining in a quality way. There are certain attributes that come in handy, that as I will say. So how do you sustain, or how do you organize high quality programs? Not just programs for ticking a box, but high quality programs, ideas. Again, as I said, life is ideas. Everything is an idea, right? So ideas, forming ideas, coming up with interesting ideas is very important. Ideas which will hopefully make an impact, right? And then quality network, because you should know who to contact. And then obviously people respond more favorably when you know them. But then even otherwise, if you are communicating beautifully that, okay, this is with these objectives, this program is being planned, then from your profile, we feel that you will be a very resourceful speaker, something like that. You just, be, intensely form your objectives, and then look up resources, and then find out who can be invited and all. And obviously, we all need organizing skills, how to reflection again, ideas, and then the objectives. You have to set objectives for each program. You have to communicate with the prospective speakers. And then at that time, please do not send the one mail to so many people and ask them to respond. So such invitation should always be sent individually. I'm telling this because of my experience of receiving such emails. So emails and not blind copying also. You should send to X and whatever it is. So write to him or her. And dependable team is very important. So no, please read perseverance and energy. Organizing, especially a week-long program, a 5-day program involving some 4 or 5 speakers, or 2-day program involving too many speakers, that can be very intensely require your energy. And perseverance is, of course, important. So, one of my most memorable experiences of organizing an APS event was, it coincided with the Varda, that cyclone. If some of you remember, 2016 December, we had that intense cyclone in Chennai. Same time we had an event. So, please look at the article in the April 2017 issue of the IEEE Antennas and Propagation magazine. There's a short article on IEEE INE Symposium on Electromagnetic Education, I think. So please look up. So we come to the closing reflections. Just looking back at my close to 36 years completed in profession. One of the questions many well-meaning acquaintances have asked is, what are you? I mean, are you this or are you that? They always refer to some position of power or something. To me, I mean, every one of us have our own space, right? So as a professor, I have space, which can be very large because we have papers, we have books too, we have collaboration. Right? So it is more than the positions. To me, I think it is what we do in whatever position we are in that is far more important. And personal development, my friends, is far more related with this, what we do in whatever our position is, rather than what position we are in. Position by itself does not convey anything about an individual to me again. So that question, of course, has been, but again, that's a common question, at least from our country, my college friends and all. Very interesting, but I always tell I have been enjoying. And nobody has asked me, okay, what are your interesting experiences? And have you tried to make a positive difference? What are the initiatives? Nobody has asked. So if I was to tell that I was holding some position which they admired, even then they would not be asking similar questions, right? So, my friends, I hope you are getting the message. The message is what we do in the position we have, whatever it is, every role. Development, these two are different. Career development versus professional development. So, career development is like climbing up the career ladder, this role, that role. And then professional development is actually personal development. I have interchangeably used them. That is personal development. And it is possible that in some situations, both do not go hand in hand. Ideally, they should go hand in hand, but very often because of multiple factors. But then what should you choose as your priority under that circumstances? Obviously, it is related to the perception of the individual as to what success is. If to us success means getting some position, okay, then obviously a career development. But on the other hand, if personal development or professional development, which can be more fulfilling, then obviously one has to choose. This can be quite, individual based decision to make, but you can just reflect on this. And obviously IEEE APS has been a great facilitator for me personally, and then for you also, provided you are and you remain an active member of the society in the ways that we have discussed earlier. So one resource, myself and Cynthia first wrote this article, Professional Development Ideas for Students and Young Professionals, that appeared in the October 2022 issue of the IEEE Antennas and Propagation magazine. It is freely downloadable. So I think that article can be, I believe that can be of help. So I welcome feedback at this email ID. And then with a thank you, I close my talk. Thank you for listening.
Sir, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Gulam. Thank you, Gulam.
Sir, it was wonderful listening to you, sir, as usual. So just for your information, we had around 177 external participants from various engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu, sir. Okay. So I believe many students in this platform would have benefited by your talk. Sir,
Gulam, how do I stop this presentation if I just say stop sharing? Because I want to see you.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Ah.
Can you see me now, sir? Yes, sir. No, luckily, I too have a very dependable team at CEG, sir. With that, I can
Excellent.
have a sustainable, APS activities at CEG.
Yeah,
So
excellent,
now
Glenn,
we
excellent.
move forward to the question answer session, sir. Maybe a few questions you can take up, sir.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So,
Sure.
students, if you have any questions, you can just ask sir directly, or you can post it in chat box. We can help you. Deepika,
Sir?
Deepika, do they have the rights to post their questions?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. They can chat.
Rakshita is Rakshita. Yeah, Rakshita. Please give it to Rakshita. Rakshita, you can ask your question.
Questions or reflections or comments or criticisms, anything is welcome.
Deepika, if you have anything, you can ask, sir. I think I interrupted you. Maybe you can proceed.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, please.
Sir, in the last part, you were talking about closing reflections. So you asked us what does success mean to us. So I wanted to ask what success means to you as educator in this field.
Yeah, I mean, hey, as also, I think I tried to mention about that. To me, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of, I mean, have I been giving my best? So we all have limitations, right? Now, if I look back at 36 years of my profession, I should say I have been trying to give my best. That's all, with my own limitations. That is fine. So that brings, so I don't really, to me, that is success. Am I able to feel more or less at peace with myself about what I have been able to do? Efforts only. But the outcome is something which is not in our hands, right? Only giving efforts. To that extent, to me, success is, but I don't even want to use that word because successful person, because society will never say a person, successful person as one who finds fulfillment in life, right? That's a common, connotation. But to me, as an individual, as a teacher, looking at students, interacting with them, and trying to give efforts in the direction of enhancing their mental space, that has been reasonably satisfying. So to me, I think if at all we have to assign that word to that, then I would assign to the feeling of deriving reasonable satisfaction from whatever we have been able to do. Did I mean, at least partly try to answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is relatable.
So, sir, before we go for an official closing of this meeting, sir, I must extend a sincere thanks to you for accepting my invitation, sir, for the benefit of the student community, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.